The most important piece of work that SNP CND are involved in at the moment is the development of taking forward anti-nuclear policy within the SNP. 3 years ago, we got a motion accepted unanimously on a roadmap for Trident removal. Now, that was based on the work, the peer-reviewed work actually, of the late John Ainslie, that many people here will know, and a great loss to the movement when John died a few years ago. And in September, the SNP are having its a September conference, and we have another motion on the SNP when SNP parliamentarians, SNP government, when we become independent, indeed whatever colour that government is, to ratify the Treaty on the Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. That's a really crucial development and a crucial step. Now, it might sound a bit technical, diplomatic, but it really is quite important. The TPNW came into force in January of this year. Over 50 countries, in fact there's about 80, 90 countries have got the process rolling, so to speak, before then. 50 odd countries so far have ratified it, and many more will be doing so over the coming period. And when Scotland regains its sovereignty, one of the first things that a Scottish government should do, whatever the hue of the parliamentarians, they should be ratifying the Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, because it provides a framework, a diplomatic framework, to see these abominations removed from Scotland. And the key aspect of it is, when a future sovereign Scottish government ratifies the TPNW, it will have the various institutions of the United Nations to aid it in its negotiations to get these things going. Organisations like the International Atomic Energy Agency, which, as some of you will know, is the key organisation that has been involved in nuclear disarmament and removal at various countries at various times over the past 20 or 30 years. So that really is quite important. Now, some people, I'm not sure, some of them jokingly, some not so, suggest that we should rent this place out to the remaining UK government for a tidy sum. This is a bad idea, and there are 3 reasons why it's a bad idea. One, it's immoral, and it would send an awful message as to the standing, the moral compass of a new sovereign Scottish state. The second reason is that it would give succour to those who want to keep these weapons here after we become independent. Because one of the key things that people sometimes don't realise is, as you know, we've got 4 Vanguard-class nuclear submarines that carry the Trident missiles. And currently, right now, the nuclear agency, which is an agency that covers all nuclear weapons and such like in the UK under the UK government, they are building 2 replacements. They're going to build 4 in total. And one of them, the first of the Dreadnought class, is due to come here sometime in the next decade. Now, the sooner that the UK government get the message that we intend to see them removed, the sooner that they will take forward speedily their contingency plans to get them the hell out of here. Now, they're already working in those plans. They deny it, but they actually are. I attended a seminar of the Royal United Services Institute, the world's oldest military think tank, recently. And I put the question about contingency planning, because all navies do contingency planning for whatever units they've got, from the days of Nelson to today, right through it into the future. They do it. They'll deny it, but they do it. And if we give a picture, a clarity that they're going to go, then it will encourage them to speed up that process. But there's a final reason. When the people of England and the remaining UK, whatever manifestation that takes, when they realise that they're going from there, then they will start to have a serious discourse about what they're going to do with them. Because at the end of the day, they face a real challenge if they want to keep these abominations and their replacements, as Isabel pointed out. And it's important that they have clarity for us from us in Scotland, so they can have an open discourse about what they're going to do about them. Because as we know, and although I personally believe that Brexit was an exercise in self-harm, when the middle classes of the UK, told the English working class that their vote didn't count in Brexit, they get very angry. And that anger of those people underpins to some extent the political chaos of the UK today. And you see the delusion over Afghanistan at the moment, the performance in the House of Commons. It was an absurdity. Various MPs with petted lips and more trying to appeal to a strategy that they knew was not going to work. And I'm not criticising the poor Afghan soldiers that died in their thousands over these years. They are ordinary soldiers, and I'm not going to criticise them in the least. But these MPs, particularly the MPs who were of field rank in Afghanistan, some of their job was to negotiate with the so-called Afghan politicians. And they knew, as the Afghan papers, and you'd be worth looking up, going to YouTube and looking at it, they knew that it was a house of cards. So the idea that they are shocked is a lie. They knew it. And if you look at the Afghan papers published by the Washington Post, of all papers, strangely enough, you will see that. And one final point, because it is really important about what's happening in Afghanistan today. Bob was correct when he criticised my party in its initial position on Afghanistan. But in 2007, and I'll never forget it, round about March, Sophie Raworth came on the news, and the number 3 item was that the UK public and the public of Scotland and the whole of the UK had flipped and they wanted out. That was in 2007. I tried to get a motion in the SNP conference agenda that year, didn't work. Tried the same with STUC, didn't work. But then things changed and we got the motion in 2 or 3 years later, and with STUC, because and I'm a trade unionist, my colleagues within the trade union movement, I remember the first Sea Lord made a speech aimed at the workers in the armaments industry. They said, you can maintain the vehicles and equipment in Iraq, or you can have the carriers. You can't have both. And I knew when he made that statement, there would be no problem getting a motion to get the hell out of Afghanistan at the STUC, and so it proved. But anyway, thank you for listening, folks, and all the best. And I hope to see you here at future events to see these things out of our country. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Now we have independence campaigner Denise Findlay.